welcome into Grimm's Gates of Horror. I'm Grim, and this is your new haven for all things horror. And today, I'm going to be reviewing the horror mystery Delirium. Delirium is a horror mystery that follows Topher Grace as Tom. After being released from a psychiatric hospital, he comes into inheritance when his parents die. While on house arrest and after a series of mysterious events, Tom contemplates whether the house his parents left him is haunted or whether he is going insane. I honestly had no idea what to expect from this movie going into it. I knew it was a psychological horror movie with Topher Grace, and it was produced by Blumhouse. The only other role I have seen Topher Grace in was Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3. Other than that, I have not seen that 70s show or any other movie that he has been in. I will start off by saying his performance in this film is what really carries this movie, as he seems likable and charming throughout the movie. This movie is a slow burn type of horror where little things happen here and there, little hints to keep you invested, and then the big twist towards the end is a part to stay for. And I will admit that this movie does drag, and the little horror elements feel cheap and weren't executed well. But there are some gory visuals that I did enjoy, and I did enjoy the little things that we learn about Tom, his family, and why he was in the hospital, and those little details that really make the payoff towards the end much better. And so, as I think this movie does have problems with how they use the horror and really holding back on using it to elevate the story, the actual story itself is pretty good. Now, that's my non-spoiler thoughts on this movie. Now, there wasn't a lot for me to talk about without getting into the spoilers, so I recommend to go watch this movie if you don't want to be spoiled. Then come back to this video to know if you want to know my thoughts on this movie Delirium. And so you've been warned. Spoilers starting right now. Now, after spending 20 years in a mental institution, Tom Walker is released back to the mansion that he has inherited from his wealthy father, a senator that recently committed suicide. Tom is placed under house arrest and must check in for 30 days via video phone daily, or he'll be returned to the hospital. His parole officer, Brody, hints to a violent crime committed by him and his older brother, Alex. Tom starts to enjoy life within the house. So yeah, this was basically the opening where Topher Grace's character, Tom, gets brought to the mansion by his PO, his parole officer, and basically he's put on house arrest, and he's the only one in the house. And every day he has to basically get on this laptop and just face the camera and just look into the camera with I think it's like a fingerprint scanner or something like that, and basically just check in once a day for 30 days. And so that kind of gives us a Five Nights at Freddy's type of vibe, but right, this person's basically on house arrest, and so they have to check in once a day for 30 days. So that kind of intrigued me right there. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. And so basically Tom just starts to enjoy life within the house alone before starting to suffer from gory hallucinations of his late father, hearing noises throughout the house and receiving calls from strangers with a garbled voice which make him believe that he is relapsing. And so this guy, when he was a kid, he was sentenced to a mental institution, so there's a bunch of things that he didn't get to do throughout his, what you would call his childhood. So he orders a bunch of snacks from DoorDash or whatnot, like Fruity Pebbles and stuff like that, stuff that you see a kid ordering, and it's actually pretty. I actually got a kick out of it because I'm like, that's literally that's exactly what someone like this would do, and he just has fun with a skateboard, going around the house. It's a big mansion, so I think where it starts to drag is towards the second act for me, because I really did enjoy seeing this part of this character and really learning the personality of Tom. Tom then has a vision of a girl being drowned and discovers a tongue preserved in a mason jar in the indoor pool's control panel, which he writes off as another hallucination. While looking around and adventuring through the mansion, he finds a secret tunnel in his father's office that provides access to peepholes around the house. Which when he found this, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. They were peepholes in the eyes of paintings. So it kind of reminded me of this one scene in the first Scooby-Doo movie on the Monsters Island. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. If you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I mean, because that creeped me out as a kid. That was pretty. that's what it made me think of right there. And then he just finds this tongue in like a panel to the indoor pool. I just thought that that's just so odd and random. Tom also seeks respite from a grocery market worker named Lynn, who delivers his groceries full of junk food and snacks. You typically find a child ordering like fruity pebbles and grape juice boxes, like I said before, which I thought was which I thought was pretty interesting. Tom calls Brody, who arrives to check in on him, his parole officer. Brody misinterprets Tom's advances and kisses Tom, and when he refuses, Brody gets offended and attacks Tom, stealing his pills before leaving. Which I thought this was a weird choice for this movie, like out of nowhere. Like he basically just calls his PR officer because he's freaking out from all these hallucinations, thinking that he's relaxing, and then his parole officer makes a move on him, and and then because that's not what he was intending, she attacks him, takes his bottle of pills that he needs for his mental health, and she leaves with them. And I was like, that is just so random. Like that's one part of this story that I felt like it could have been handled better. Like it could have been developed better, like in the script. It could have definitely been like executed and delivered in a better way, in my opinion. Tom then starts to realize that there's an intruder in the house, but discovers that it's actually his older brother Alex, who we are led to believe is another hallucination. Alex insists that he is real as he trashes the house and looks for hidden money from their father. And yeah, I'm convinced that this is basically another hallucination, something that we've seen in other movies and TV shows before, like kind of like Sam in Scream hallucinating her dad Billy Loomis. Kind of remind me of that a bit, and I thought that was pretty cool. And it kind of like made the story more interesting, seeing Tom banter with this apparition of his brother, not apparition, but this hallucination of his brother. After another visit from Lynn, the grocery market worker, who smuggles him his medication after he calls her to try to get them from her. Tom reveals that when he was a teenager, he was humiliated by a girl he had a crush on in school. After Tom told Alex, his older brother, they scared the girl as a prank, but when the girl lashed out at them, Alex handcuffed Tom and forced him to watch as Alex murdered the girl. Alex later went on to murder another girl, which basically busted them for both of the murders. And it landed Alex to be in prison and Tom to be sent to a mental institution since no one believed he was innocent, and their mother abandoned the family in shame and disappeared. And so that is when we get the whole explanation of why Tom was in the mental institution. He didn't do anything, but no one believed that he didn't, and does suffer from trauma from what he went through. So that I think that's why he has the pills to help him cope with that. And Topher Grace in the scene, his performance in the scene is actually pretty good. We don't get shown like what happened in that situation, but we do get his character's like expression and how he's telling this girl Lynn like what happened. It is a pretty. It could have been. I feel like it could have been darker and felt deeper, but you definitely felt the emotion that like the trauma that the character went through. Tom, believing himself to be stable after his meds kick in, returns to the pool's control panel, but still finds the jar holding the tongue. And right under his feet, after smashing the mason jar with the tongue, he discovers an underground bunker right below the pool's control panel. But he doesn't go down yet. He then quickly returns to Lynn and finds her unconscious and panics. And this is when the third act starts. And oh god, it actually gets pretty good. So he finds Lynn unconscious and he panics. Not sure if he was disassociating and attempts to leave to get Lynn help. Only before being discovered by Brody. She comes back with his pills, and right as he's about to walk out the door, she walks in and she pulls her gun. And just the tension of the scene, it's just like you feel the suspense. You're like, oh, what's gonna happen? So Brody assumes that Tom is killing again and draws her gun before Alex, Tom's older brother, comes up behind Brody and kills her. And that's when we find out that Alex is actually here and alive. He's not dead. He's not just a hallucination. No, Alex was actually there the whole time. And I thought that was a pretty good twist, and like it was like a good fake out. Alex prepares to kill Lynn next, but Tom, unwilling to watch another murder, attacks Alex, who overpowers him and throws him into the bunker. And it's also revealed that it is said that Alex actually caught himself on fire or something like that in the prison or something like that. Like he faked his own death and escaped the prison, and that's how I get. And we find out that he actually killed his father, and he's been doing all this whole time. So after Tom gets thrown into the bunker by Alex, Tom finds a safe and a chair facing a locked bedroom in the bunker. Inside the bedroom, he finds a phone that is connected to the kitchen phone, where he receives the strange calls. He discovers an old, emaciated prisoner in the locked room. Tom realizes the prisoner is actually his mother, who did not abandon him, but was kept chained up by his sadistic father. And the garbled calls were from her, and discovers it was her tongue that was cut out. So the tongue that was in the mason jar earlier was his mother's tongue, and that his father, who supposedly committed suicide, but now we know that Alex was the one who killed their father. He was the one who cut out the mother's tongue and put it in a jar. And I'm just like, oh my god, that is insane. Like, this story just keeps getting like more dark and more like crazy. Tom frees his mother, and as Alex climbs down to get the safe open, he tearfully hugs his mother before shooting her and demanding Tom to open the safe. And just as like Tom reunites with his mother, he just witnesses her get shot, and I'm just like, and at this point, I'm just thinking the amount of trauma that Tom is going to have after this. Like, he already had a lot of trauma from watching his brother murder this little girl, and now he's going to have way more seeing at least like his mother die in front of him and all of this going on. It's just, and so as Alex demands Tom to open the safe, Tom does so for Lynn's safety in her life. As Alex has a gun to her head, and he reveals their father's hidden funds from the safe. As Alex observes the safe, Tom and Lynn attack Alex, and during the fight, the water pipes that support the pool above them, like the indoor pool, are damaged, and the room starts to flood. Tom's mother, who is still alive, chains Alex to a pipe down in the bunker, drowning him and her. Tom and Lynn make their escape and are met by police. Tom is asked if it is his house, in which he replies, "It is now," before the credits roll. And so, yeah, that's Delirium for you. It's not a great movie. It definitely has its moments, but I feel like it could also be improved a lot. And so, with that being said, I give Delirium with Topher Grace, produced by Blumhouse, a C+. And I say that because there's two different Delirium movies that came out in 2018. One that's like a found footage film, and then this one is the lower, less known one, I think. And so yeah, I wanted to let y'all know about this one because it's not a great film. It definitely has its moments, but I feel like some people who really love that suspense and loves intense suspense and like dark themes like this, I feel like they'll get a kick out of it and get some enjoyment out of it. So yeah, that's my review of Delirium with Topher Grace. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe if you are new, and join the Grimpire. I plan to post every week, at least once a week, if not twice. I'm trying to get these videos out as fast as I can, but also give me some feedback. I would really like to know what you like about these videos, what I could work on. I just set up my Yeti mic that I've had for a couple years now. I just got this new Logitech webcam, as you can see, and so I'm trying to make these videos good quality because I'm really serious about this, and I really love talking about these movies with y'all. But yeah, I hope y'all did enjoy. All my socials are down below in the description. I'm mostly active on Twitter, so you can follow me there because I also tweet out when a new video goes live. So, but if you have post notifications on the channel, you should already get notifications for that. But just in case, you might want to follow me on Twitter too, just so you're up to date on all of my new and latest videos. Let me know what y'all thought about this movie down below. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it. I'd really like to hear your thoughts down below. So yeah, if you have access to Delirium, I recommend checking this movie out now.